Woohoo! Super Bowl Sunday in the man cave. Super Bowl Sunday coming to you live. We're going to do podcasts throughout the day. We've got the Mish here on week 17 for the Super Bowl of the Big Balls League, and I am so happy to say I am in the big dance. The big dance, ladies and gentlemen. Big dance with Now You're in New York. Rightfully so. Now You're in New York. They screeched out of the gates to a unbelievable, unprecedented 5-0 start. Won 4 out of 5 of their first starts. High Point, they got $2,300 into this thing. They're playing with the house's money today. They wouldn't even cut a deal with me hardly. But in the end, a deal was cut. A one that we'll see. Winner takes a huge chunk of this pot. 100 dimes in the Big Balls League. Let me tell you how it all happened. It all started on a Thursday of about 3 weeks ago. A Thursday, sitting in my office with the manager of Dud Dogs, Bob Dar, sitting in there. He was feeling pretty good about the playoffs, and all of a sudden, woo, the phone starts ringing. It's Now You're in New York. It's Sabot. Sabot hadn't talked to me in 3 days because they had lost. They were out of the playoffs. They were in hibernation somewhere in Northern California. Nobody could find them. I had search parties out. Nothing doing. He wouldn't call me back. Come to find out, little, calculation in the system, kicks old Aaron Rodgers 2-point sack down. The Dogs get knocked out. Sabod gets in, which sets the fate for several teams. Several teams coming into the playoffs. Number one, dominoes start to fall. Number one, the Dogs out, Sabot in. Sabot has to go against Now You're in New York. Now You're in New York, first week of the playoff, just starting to get hot. They have 48 points from Peyton Manning on a Thursday night in Jacksonville. Big game. Reggie Wayne comes up with a big game. And their stud for Sabod, Tom Brady, in Buffalo, throws a 3-point turd, and they get beat going away 154 to 107. So Now You're in New York moves to the next week because they're in a whole different division because of this debacle. Myself, the Stuck Fix, come in, have to play the same team again, the Bayou Bandits, who they demolished the week before to get into the playoffs. So instead of, Ben Roethlisberger, the Bayou Bandits throw a 9-point Kurt Warner effort at me, but Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson, boom, 77 points, and boom, they're in the playoffs, okay? 77 points and 168-61. Debacle of the Bayou Bandits, and the Bayou Bandits out. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. You're out. Back down on the island. You're not even in the Bayou anymore. So next year you might need to think of a little more creative name for your team. We love you, though, Vinny. And, hey, Sabod, we love you guys. Great effort out there in California. Make it rain. Just send your checks in. All right, next week saw 3.5 men in the Cock and Balls sitting there waiting for their playoff spots because they had the buys, 9 in a row for 3.5 men. Cock and Balls, hot as can be. They'd won 7 out of their last 9, something crazy. Great lineups. 3.5 men played me, the Stuck Fix, who, by the way, had the Dogs stayed in, they would have been in that division. I would have taken out Now You're in New York the previous week. I would have played Cock and Balls, and then 3.5 men would have gone through that rank. That's not what happened, so I had to take on 3.5 men. Tough matchup. Only got 37 points out of the Schaub-Johnson combination, which was 14 yards shy of Schaub, 14 yards shy of a 300-yard game, and big calculation. And I'll tell you what, 3.5 men kept coming all day. Anquan Bolden, 20 points. Deshaun Jackson, 12 points, but he got 10 of those in the first half, 2 points the second half. Tony Romo on Sunday night, 19 points in a very efficient win for the Cowboys. Big win in Washington. But you know what? It wasn't enough. 144 points by 3.5 men, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the little Mish here, a couple weeks ago, looks at me and says, Daddy-O, it's time to pick up Jonathan Stewart. Lo and behold, I picked up Jonathan Stewart because I drafted him on game day. Me and my general manager, John Baldy Albert, which is waiting for him to get here. We drafted him, dropped him because he just wasn't getting any reps. But you know what? We threw him in last week and a 42-point bam effort. 42 42 points. Jonathan Stewart catapults me into the Super Bowl. What a pickup. I hadn't got more than 17 points from a running back all year long, and single-handedly Jonathan Stewart 42 points last week into the Super Bowl. Then on the other end of it, you had the Cock and Balls playing Thursday night game. They had 31 points. Very respectable from Phillip Rivers in Tennessee. Very respectable. Very normal week for him. Guy's just an absolute stud. They've won a ridiculous number, 9 in a row. Looking good going into this week against Washington. Probably rest him, all the other ones, but still got a good shot to win. Playing against Now You're New York. Now You're New York. And this is what I was afraid of for Now You're New York earlier in the year when they were rolling with Peyton and Reggie Wayne. Sure enough, 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, up 15-10 against the lifeless Jets, who have no business even being in the playoffs. They set Manning, Wayne, and the starters, and the Jets score 16 points, 19 points against nothing against the Colts. They roll them up. The kid that they brought in there for Manning looked like a junior high kid. It was ridiculous. They roll. However, they got just enough points, 113 points, to take care of business. In spite of a 31-point effort from Cock and Balls, Phillip Rivers, they got -1 from Maroney. Maroney got the ball, I think, on his second carry of the day, down on the goal line, 1 yard line. They give the ball to Maroney. Coughs it up, -1 yards. He didn't touch the rock the rest of the day. Finishes with -1. And the Philly defense, who was playing lights out, let Denver come storming back in the second half and scored 21 unanswered points, end up with only 13 points. Therefore, Cock and Balls throws up a very, very lackluster 96 points for his playoff game to try to get into the Super Bowl. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. You've got Now You're in New York, which is sitting up there in the cold, probably going to the Jets game tonight, praying for their Jets to get into the playoffs. And then you've got the Stuck Fix, your very own Mish, and John Albert, and the help of Max Royks, the little Mish, all the people that I'll listen to down here. So good luck. We'll be coming to you from podcasts throughout the day in the Man Cave. We're going to have 6 screens going. We're going to have the stats up. We're going to have it all. So thank you for playing this year. It's been a wonderful ride. The Mish, over and out. Check back with you a little later.